Hello, this is Attorney Jonathan Arias from the Onyx Group. Thank you very much for tuning in. Today, I want to talk to you about something that was sent to me from the Miami New Times. This was sometime last week, July 12th. The title reads, Proposed Miami-Dade Right to Counsel Law May Cut Down on Evictions. And what the article goes on to say is that, so in Miami, there are a lot of protections that are being put in place for individuals who don't have attorneys and basically tenants, right? We're a very tenant-friendly jurisdiction ever since, and this isn't me leaning one way politically or another, but ever since this administration, which is a Democratic administration, the previous one was a Republican administration, but that's kind of, you could say it's kind of unfair because prior to that we didn't have a pandemic. But who knows? The point is, in this administration, they've put in the Tenant Bill of Rights. They've extended the period of time from 15 days for a month-to-month tenant in terms of notice, from 15 days all the way to 60 days, and they've provided a bunch of other protections. So now they want to add something else, which is they just want to level the playing field and say, okay, now when in the same way that people have the right to counsel when they go to criminal court, we should have the right to counsel when people are being evicted.
I've always wanted to be a nurse, and I never thought.
The article is coming up with an ad. All right, so this is something that's being proposed. The mayor, Mayor Danielle Levine Cava, is for it. She's open to doing a study on whether this is a good idea or not. This is, according to the article, fewer than 2% of Miami tenants who face eviction in housing court have access to the lawyer. On the other side of the bench, about 90% of landlords in Miami-Dade County bring legal representation. So they're saying that, people are often coerced into signing things because they don't understand, especially if they don't speak English. And they said that they're going to see if they could set something up where right now they're sending them to Legal Services of Greater Miami, which, by the way, I've been against them many times. They have great lawyers on that side, on the defense side. So kudos to them. Here's one thing I just want to point out. It's estimated that a multi-year pilot program will cost the county about $3 million, which would cover hiring attorneys and creating an infrastructure that will simplify access to representation. Now, it's not clear whether that $3 million is $3 million one time or it's $3 million a year. And I don't know how many people they can service. They look to New York, which passed a similar right to counsel law in 2017. And apparently now in 2020, in the last quarter of 2021, 74% of tenants in eviction proceedings had an attorney. And 84% of those who had attorney were able to stay in their homes. Now, the thing about that is the laws in New York are different. And so you could say, oh, New York did it and it worked over there. Yes, they have different laws. Then they talk about San Francisco. They say San Francisco boasts a 67% success rate in keeping people housed, though the city has struggled to find enough lawyers to meet demand. I was glad when I read that, because I'm like, okay, now we're talking about the reality of setting something like this up. So a lot of times, what I found with proposed legislation, especially in areas like this, when it comes to evictions and housing, everybody's for it, yeah. But when it talks about the costs and the reality of implementation, people people don't take that into account. And then once that stuff starts rolling out, then it's like, oh, I'm not so sure about it. Now, that's that. Let me tell you how I think it's going to play out. What this is going to do, if this rolls out the way I think it'll roll out, which is, there'll be a department with a group of lawyers, and they'll just, basically take on cases like this all the time. What they'll probably do is cases that they see are clearly, there's really no defense, because the only defense for non-payment is payment. So they probably won't take those, or will probably just make an appearance. I'm not sure how this thing will be set up, but they'll probably just make an appearance on those. The ones that have some nuance and that they can actually win, they'll make appearances and try to win those cases. But what this is going to do is probably going to delay evictions, because people are going to not have a defense that's so great, but because they have a lawyer, there are things that they could file, and then because they file that thing, then you have to meet with the judge in order to have a hearing on that motion, and so it's going to cause delay, and also it's going to make it more expensive for landlords. And here's the reason why: because there are some landlords, and we teach this all the time. We teach people to do their own evictions. We have Eviction University. We teach people to do their own evictions. That's no problem. But now, if it's pro se against pro se, that's a lot easier. But if it's defense attorney versus pro se landlord, then you're going to have some problems there where this person's going to be outmatched, and now you're going to have the same problem, but on the other side, where the landlord is going to be outmatched, and then they're going to have to hire an attorney, whereas maybe before they could have gotten away with doing their own eviction pro se. So it is going to be making it more expensive for them. Ultimately, people are going to have to hire more people like me, and that's what's on the table. So if this gets signed, we'll figure it out, and we'll see. Apparently, this pilot program is going to be covered by the county's upcoming 2022 to 2023 budget. So this won't start until, I guess, the latter half of this year. But if it does jump off, I'll let you know about it. So thank you. I know this is kind of long, but some good information for you. Thank you very much for your time and your attention. I'm Jonathan Arias, landlord attorney from the Onyx Group. Have a blessed day.